Hi, I'm Violet from Los Angeles. I was born to a stinking rich mom who spoiled me rotten. Mom was the CEO of the biggest automobile company in the world. Sometimes Mom would take me to her company and show me all her new model cars. And I always felt so proud to be her daughter. And one day, by accident, I asked her the wrong question and she freaked out on me. Wow, Mom, I'm so proud of you. I wish Dad was here to see how great you are.
Your dad? Why would you even mention him? He left us before you were even born. Did he contact you?
No, Mom, calm down. I was just...
Don't ever mention your dad again.
It was my first time seeing Mom so mad at me. I hated disappointing her. I worked extra hard to make Mom proud. My best friend, Mikkel, who was born a genius, helped me score an A+ on all my tests.
Violet, no. That's not how you work out that equation.
I don't know why I always struggle with divisions. I don't know what I would do without you, Mikkel.
I don't know what I would do without you too, Violet.
Mikkel was cute, and sometimes I'd feel all fuzzy when he looked at me, but he never showed any signs of liking me more than a friend, and I didn't want to spoil anything by telling him how I really felt. Mikkel and I were really close. Since he also lived next door to us, his parents were always away at work, and he was usually very lonely at home with his nanny. So he used to come over for dinner, and Mom grew fond of him because he was a computer genius. When we were around 18, Mom hired Mikkel and I as interns in her company, and the more time we spent with each other, the more I started falling for him. Until one day, I decided to tell him how I felt on my birthday.
Happy birthday, best friend. Make a wish.
I wish that Mikkel, my best friend, would ask me out on a date because I really, really like him. He looked at me surprised like it was his birthday.
Wow, I really, really like you too.
After that day, Mikkel and I were inseparable. I was so happy. And when I was about to share my love life with Mom, I found the maids dragging big suitcases behind her.
Out of my way, honey. I can't miss my flight.
I just wanted to share some big news with you.
When I'm back, Violet, I have a philanthropic mission in Uganda.
Mikkel kept me company while Mom was away, and one day, while we were watching STA, someone from the office called Mikkel and asked us to turn on the news.
We apologize for interrupting your day, but we have some important news. Today, there was a volcanic eruption in Uganda, and word has reached us that the American citizens who were there on a philanthropic mission are missing.
Dread filled my entire body, and I jerked up in the bed. My mom is on that mission!
Babe, calm down. She's a smart woman. She'll be safe.
But I couldn't calm down. I panic called everyone I knew for the whereabouts of Mom.
Hello, miss, do you have any info on my mom now?
They all told me the same thing.
I'm sorry, Violet, but I have nothing on your mom yet.
I watched the news daily, expecting some change, and was left disappointed.
Everyone on the philanthropic mission has been found, except for Deborah Watson, CEO of Watson Automobiles.
For a year, Mom didn't return, and it left me quite devastated, but Mikkel was always there to comfort me.
I hope Mom is found. I can't lose her like I lost Dad. I'll have nobody. You have me, Violet, and I'll never leave your side, babe. And I'm sure your mom will be found.
Oh, Mikkel, what would I ever do without you? And then one day, I got an unexpected visit from an old man I'd never seen before.
Hello, Violet. I'm Mr. Gregory, your mom's lawyer. In case of an event like this, your mom has prepared a will.
A will? Does that mean Mom is gone forever? My voice shook as I asked. I couldn't bear to hear the worst.
No, we're still hoping she'll be found. In the meantime, the company needs control, and that will be split amongst the children.
Wait, what? Children? What do you mean, children? I'm my mom's only child. He just gave me a small smile and stared at the door as two girls I didn't know walked into the room.
Welcome, Yasmin and Stacy. Please sit.
They sat on the couch like the house belonged to them, and it made me so mad I could feel smoke popping out of my ears.
Your mom wants to split her inheritance amongst the three of you, but she's attached a condition to it. You three must live together and get along for a year.
A year? I think there's been a mistake, Mr. Gregory. I'm my mom's only child, and I've never seen these girls. Maybe that will is fake. The taller one, Yasmin, turned to me with anger in her eyes.
Looks like you don't know Mommy that well.
I stared her down, and electricity jolted between her eyes.
Whoa, I know my mom better than anyone. And if she had other kids, she'd tell me. That's how I know you're imposters.
Oh, Violet, don't be rude. This is your mom's wish. I'll take my leave now, and we'll be back in a week or two to check on you three. Behave yourselves.
We'll be good. Bye, Mr. Gregory.
As soon as Mr. Gregory left, the girls faced me with evil grins.
Listen, you spoiled brat. Yasmin and I aren't going anywhere. We're going to get that inheritance all for ourselves and make sure you get none. We'll drive you crazy.
You think you can just prance into my house and scare me? I'll expose you for the heartless frauds you are.
Game on. Don't cry too much.
They left the room with evil laughs that resonated behind them. Living with Yasmin and Stacy was torture. Once when I was running late to school, they ripped most of the clothes in my closet, and I had no choice but to wear one of the damaged dresses. Another time, they both spilled colorful paint all over my car, and I went berserk.
What is wrong with you two? Just giving it a new look.
Maybe you are the ones in need of a new look. I grabbed a paint bucket and spilled its contents all over them, and then we had a massive paint fight. Having Yasmin and Stacy at my house messed with my head, and I only had Mikkel to confide in. He gave me so many silly ideas that made me laugh and took my mind away from everything for a moment.
You could put a hippopotamus in their room.
A hippopotamus?
Or I could use my super hacker skills to find dirt on them.
Wait a minute. That could work. Do it. Mikkel got on his laptop and set to work. His fingers tapped rapidly at the keyboard like a freaking robot, and after some minutes, he looked up at me with a happy glint in his eyes.
Bingo! Apparently your sisters used to live in a small town in Mexico. And guess what? They were well-known thieves.
He showed me the laptop screen, and on it was boldly plastered the mugshots of Yasmin and Stacy.
Oh my god! I knew they were lying. Can you find anything on their family background? Maybe parents or something?
Nope, that info is confidential. Well, it didn't matter. I already had enough information that would lead me to their background. The next day, I packed up a little bag and traveled to Mexico without telling anyone. As soon as I arrived, I was able to track down Yasmin and Stacy's house. It was an old, worn-out building. I knocked, and a scraggly grown man opened the door tentatively. He hid behind the door like he was hiding from someone.
Who are you? The IRS? The feds? What do you want?
No, sir. He had a bad stench oozing off of him. I had no choice but to hold my breath.
I'm Violet Watson, and I'm carrying out an investigation on...
Suddenly, the man hugged me, and I held myself from puking all over his clothes.
Violet! Oh, honey, I haven't seen you in a long time. I've missed you so much. Being away from you for years has been so difficult.
I'm sorry, but do I know you?
I'm your father.
What? No way! I don't believe you. If you are, why did you leave Mom and I alone for years?
I'll explain everything to you, honey. Just come in.
I went in, and he took a look outside before he shut the door behind me. Holy freaks! His house looked like a freaking bulldozer ran through it.
Sorry about the mess. I'm doing some experiments. Did your mom tell you we used to own the company together?
What? No.
Well, we used to until she grew greedy and kicked me out. She became harsh and careless towards everyone around her, even her family. I had to get custody of Yasmin and Stacy and leave your mother since it was hurting them so terribly.
So, Stacy and Yasmin are truly my sisters?
Of course. Your mother was pregnant with you then, and when you were born, she wouldn't let me see you.
The way he spoke about Mom, she sounded like a really terrible person. Had Yasmin been right? Did I really know my mom?
How do I know you're telling the truth?
I have some old photos. Wait here.
Dad disappeared and returned with a photo book. We scrolled through it together, and I found old pictures of my mom posing with Yasmin and Stacy. Yet, I was still finding it hard to believe. Mom and I were thick as thieves. Why would she lie to me? I wished I could talk to her and ask her. I need a moment. This is all hard to take in.
Take your time.
Later that evening, Dad wanted to take me out to get food, but as soon as we got in the car, something happened.
Can you drive, honey?
Yeah.
Cool, you drive.
He tossed the car keys at me and got into the car.
Sweet.
As soon as I started the car, Dad froze when he saw another car enter the yard with tinted windows.
Oh God, those are dangerous men. Drive away, Violet.
I hit the pedal and hard reversed and sped away, but the car started tailing us, so I drove faster until we lost them.
Whoa, honey, who taught you to drive like that?
It's no big deal. I learned a bit with the cars at Mom's company. Dad was so impressed with my driving, he wouldn't shut up about it. And the next morning, he made a big announcement.
Honey, guess what? I signed you up for a car race. You'll be a beast at it.
I wasn't sure how I felt about Dad's announcement, but I figured I'd give it a shot. It only meant longer staying in his stinky house, but it was also a welcome distraction from everything. The following day, Dad and I showed up at the racetrack.
On your marks, get set, go!
I stomped on my accelerator and raced against the other cars, and in a few minutes, the race ended with me as the winner. I was about to be awarded a huge sum of money when Dad showed up and snatched it.
Thank you. She's my daughter.
Yeah. Dad threw a mini celebration for me that night, and in the days that followed, we visited a lot of places and had so much fun. I couldn't believe Mom had deprived me of all of this. He kept signing me up for more races, and I kept winning them all. But he always took the money I won. It wasn't like I needed it anyways. He needed it more than I did. One day, while I was gearing up for another race, I received a call from an unknown number.
Hello, Miss Violet. This is the security officer from your mother's company. Something bad has happened.
My heart skipped a beat, and I prayed it wasn't more bad news about Mom. I was still harboring hopes for her return and wasn't ready to lose her.
This morning, we received several withdrawals of millions of dollars from our company's accounts to an untraceable account. We require your urgent attention.
Dad noticed the look of shock on my face.
Honey, is anything the matter?
I can't do the race today, Dad.
What? Why? We planned so much for this.
Maybe next time, but right now, the company needs my help. I wanted to walk away when Dad suddenly held my arm and looked at me with plea in his eyes.
Please, just one more game, honey. You can't just leave everything.
For the first time, I noticed how pitiful Dad looked. Regrettably, I withdrew my arm from his grasp and ran to the guest room to pack up my things. In a few hours, I was back home, and the first place I headed to was the company. On my way, I bumped into Mikkel.
Violet! I'm so glad you're safe.
Safe? What are you? Suddenly, his happy look changed into a sad one.
I did something terrible to save you, Violet. But rest assured, whoever that monster that took you is, I'm tracing his location. I'll find him.
I had no idea what he was talking about. I don't understand. What did you do, Mikkel? He couldn't even look at me in the eyes.
I was the one who hacked into the company's accounts, but I did it to save you. Yasmin and Stacy cried and distressed over you being abducted. I tried your number, but it never went through.
Holy cow! Those two brats lied to my poor boyfriend! Enough was enough!
The abductor was requesting for a lot of money none of us had, so I hacked into the company's accounts to get the money and save you.
I'll teach those girls a lesson for taking advantage of your love for me! In anger, I stormed home and was greeted by an unexpected sight. Yasmin and Stacy were throwing a party in the mansion. Anger clouded my mind as I grabbed a glass of drink from a table and walked over to the wires and spilled the drink all over it. The music went off instantly and everyone groaned. Get out of my house! What do you two think you're up to? They avoided my eyes like guilty children that had been caught doing something bad.
You're back so soon, Violet. We thought you went on a vacation, so we didn't expect you to return so early.
You'd like that, huh? So you can continue to steal more money from my mom.
It's not stealing if it's yours.
You two lied to my boyfriend, stole millions of dollars from the company, tortured me, and you still think you deserve anything here? I understand that my mom left you, but it's no excuse for being terrible people. Suddenly, Stacy broke down into tears, but I was too mad to care. I want you two to pack up your bags and leave this house this instant. A voice sounded behind, interrupting us. Moms, that's enough! I turned around to stare at her, and she looked nothing like someone who had gone missing for a year. In fact, she looked like she just came out of a spa, and that was when it dawned on me. I